Good morning and welcome to Trading with Larry. It's Larry Benedict, joined by Eric Shamalov. Good morning, all. Hope everybody is awake on a very slow overnight, but another up overnight. I think it's like literally the 900th up overnight out of a zillion. It's just what it is. Market has an insatiable appetite to always go up. Last Thursday's trade was, you know, was a mystery, and now we're back near all-time highs with stocks. It's funny. I'm just pulling stocks up, and they're all down like 50%. So, like, I don't know. I mean, maybe you have a better handle on what's going on, but I don't understand. Like, it's just Nvidia. Literally, the whole entire stock market feels like it's Nvidia. It was trading at 170, crashing, 900 phone calls, and then my text to my friend who was telling me the market is horrendous. What do I do? I texted him today. Hey, by the way, I haven't heard from you, but Nvidia is back to higher levels if you want to take a look at something to bring in income or hedge your position, maybe. And the guy is not responsive because he doesn't want to do that. It's very funny. But if it goes back to 170, then he freaks out and calls me telling me, he screwed up and this and that. So this is the market, but there are pockets of the market from Bitcoin to, I mean, just look at some of these stocks: Coinbase, Robinhood, Palantir. I mean, you can name 20 stocks off the, Oracle, which came back a little but got down to $130, down 70% or 60%. How are people able to sustain these type of moves? That's what I'm really curious about.
Yeah, it feels like all the fan favorites are down quite a bit, but it's been happening kind of like under the radar. I feel like a lot more on the radar now, but it's been happening. I think, again, this is a trend that has been happening that has started 4 or 5 months ago and is becoming a pretty deep trend. And you mentioned Nvidia. I don't know. Nvidia just feels like yesterday's trade to me. Kind of unexciting. I don't know. Feels like
All right there, young man. Slow yourself down, okay? What stock do you think is owned the most by institutions, individuals, etc.? What It's a $5 trillion company. 5 trillion.
I
Microsoft
know.
is barely, wait, it's almost twice. Sorry, I had to pick something up. Twice the size of Microsoft. Okay, and it's a one trick pony. It's selling chips. It will not end great, but right now, market is going higher again. But the thing with Nvidia that is funny is when it's going down, no one sell. Dude, it's the every trade. No one sells it. They sit and pray. That's what I was telling you in Bitcoin. That no one's selling Bitcoin or gold or silver. They're not selling it. What was interesting, I did a little deep dive into silver and gold, which has miraculously somehow came back a little bit. But if you look at the volumes, they're unbelievably low, and the options volumes are even lower. So either they ran out of money to do what were doing, or they're bagged because the silver ETF yesterday traded 64 million, coming back down to the average of like 25 million. Okay. When this thing was going meme land, it was trading 450, 500 million every day, 300 million. Now, explain to me why we're only trading 65 million. Explain it. Try to explain to me where the volume went, where the people went.
Well, I mean, my thought is that a lot of them are out, and you kind of see that in volume. I know you think they're still in,
Well, let me ask
but
you.
to me, they're
Let's shift for a second. Let's shift for a second to Bitcoin. Okay. Do you think they're out of Bitcoin? Honestly, you think people are out of Bitcoin?
that one's a different. That one's a little bit different. I feel
Well, why?
like,
It's the same. It literally to
well,
me is setting up.
Bitcoin's like your old baseball cap. You don't throw it away. But this one, silver, they've never been in
Why?
silver
Wait,
before.
wait a second. Bitcoin's been around for 12 years, okay, or 13, whatever it's been. Not a long time, okay? But silver's been around since the beginning of time, and you feel more comfortable with an asset that didn't exist when you were born, okay?
Well, hold
But
on a
you
second.
have a problem
What
with silver? I mean, come on. It's crazy. It doesn't
Who are we
even make
talking
sense.
about? I struggle to understand exactly this imaginary trader that you're talking about. Is it the retail trader? Is it the incremental retail? There's a lot of different imaginary traders we can kind of talk
Dude,
about and
let me,
and
you're
discuss
using a
what is
word, dude, we talked yesterday on a podcast, okay, in the afternoon, and you keep using the word trader, okay? You think memes are traders? Is that what you actually think? You think they're trading? Traders
no,
buy
no,
and
no, no.
sell. How many time out? Do you consider yourself a trader?
I guess I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Why, how
Do
should
you
I
take?
consider myself?
I don't know, but do you take losses during the day? When you're
Oh,
trading, do you take losses?
more than I like.
Okay, so that's a trader. Okay, someone that buys and never sells is not a trader. I don't even call
Okay.
it an investor. I don't
Talking
know what
about
to call it.
So you're talking about like the incremental retail trader, right?
I'm talking about the memers or the
Okay, so
retail
let's
or the
define
Robin
that
Hood.
person.
Dude,
Okay, well, so let's define that person. This person loves Bitcoin, right? This I
why?
sent you a text yesterday.
First of all, stop. Okay. One thing I want to teach people out there that are on this podcast listening. Okay. And I've tried to teach it to you. Okay. You don't love anything. Okay. You're trading it, you're borrowing it. Okay. Because you like it. And then you're in and out and hopefully, on to the next. Okay. What you're saying is exactly true. People love what they have. They love it so much. They're not talking about their third child. They're talking about Nvidia position at dinner. They're not telling them, "Oh, my child jumped rope 14 times today." No way are they bragging about that, but they're talking about Nvidia when it's rallying or Bitcoin. Don't you have it? Listen, I have the greatest indicator in the world, and that is my beautiful mother. Okay, anything that gets in meme land, my mother's asking me about. She's asking me about silver. Why doesn't she have silver? Why doesn't she have Bitcoin? All her friends have it. This, that. This is, what you said, like, is it pervades society. This is an incredible setup, which we know a lot about social media and campaigns and pushing. And you see guys, with silver coins getting in Ferraris, and people want that. They want that. And this is not trading, dude. This is You know why it's not trading, Eric? Let me ask you this. Do you think you could trade, okay? This is the scenario. You ready? You have $50 million, okay? You're trading with. What are you looking to make? It's significantly different than if you have 5 grand, right? 5 grand, you need to double your money quick, right? If you have 50 million, you don't even need to make 1% on that, and you're golden. Okay. So the bottom line is the meme world or the Robinhood world. And you know what? If you scrub, and I asked you to do this yesterday, the Robinhood numbers, okay, you would see what I'm seeing. Okay. Volume in Bitcoin trading down 57%. How in the world could volume in Bitcoin trading be down 57%? How? How? Just tell me how. There's only one reason.
They're just in it. I don't know. So
No,
back
no,
to the
we're answering questions today. We are answering questions and we're going to get the answers. If you don't want to answer it, I'll answer my own question. Okay? The reason why is because the price is low, Eric. The price is low. No one can buy because the price is low. We talk about it on the podcast. Buyers live higher, sellers live lower. It shouldn't be that way. It was never that way trading for 25 years, okay? But right now, it's that way, okay? And the reason why Bitcoin volumes are down 57%, assets are down, deposits are down, is because the price is lower. Now, Warren Buffett, who's the greatest investor of our time, would say this is the greatest buy if he liked it. He didn't love it. He doesn't love anything. No one should love a stock, okay, or a commodity. What do you buy cattle and you love cows or something? I mean, I don't understand. It's a trade. Okay. You do your research, you go in, you make a trade, and then hopefully you make money and get out. Okay. But the Bitcoin trade is the same thing as like the silver and gold trade. It really, really is. It's I mean, that's what I say. You know, it's now volume's drying up in silver and gold. Listen, I'm not saying it's going to go straight down this minute. It may sit here for a week. It could sit here for a while, but right now there's no buying. Like in S&Ps it's different. Like we're in a malaise, nothing going on, right, in S&P. But guess where S&P is? At an all-time high, basically, all intents and purposes. So what does that mean? That's what I'm saying to you. What does it mean?
what does it mean? What is what? I'm struggling to understand the
What does
question.
it mean? Like, we're looking at the board and so many stocks are destroyed. And I mean, look at Microsoft. Is that down a lot?
It led to decline, yeah.
The
Software.
decline of what? We never decline. That's you see, that's the funny part. We
Yeah,
declined on Nasdaq. We
everybody's looking
declined on
at
Nasdaq from
how to
high to
do
low. Timeout. We declined on Nasdaq from high to low 4%. 4%. We declined on S&P from high to low 2.5%. Is that a decline? When you see stocks down 30, 40, 60. I mean, Microsoft is down year over year. It's down it's down 20% in the last 3 months, and it's down 15% this month. And the stock market's flatter up. I'm just saying that's one of many. So I'm trying to figure out where the mantra is. Like, how can the market hold?
well,
I
the
mean, I
mantra
know there.
is stock index. Like you're looking at you're looking at Microsoft. A bunch of these fan favorites are down. Therefore, the stock indices need to be down. Well, there's a lot of stuff being bought too, and I
100%. 100%. They're buying Caterpillar. They're buying all old line industrials. They're buying mid cap. They're buying small cap. But the funny thing is, the index is always higher. I mean, maybe we get one freak out every month or every 2 months, but the index just keeps rolling higher. And it's a weird dynamic because I'm believing that the retail public is getting hit here. I mean, you're not seeing that? You don't see that? You don't think they're
I see
getting hit?
Yeah, they are.
Right.
Um,
So how, I mean, listen, this is, a question that would take a while, but how is the market okay with the bellwethers or whatever used to be the bellwethers getting hit? So now what's going to happen? They're going to sector rotate out of Caterpillar and buy back Microsoft. I mean, is that the trade here? Like, what's the trade? Like, it's very on equities. It's very mystifying. It's very mystifying.
yeah, market leadership is gone. Indices are holding up. Um, I don't think that could be sustained for too long, though.
Yeah, but it is like think about it. So Nvidia is on a rolling up, you know, going crazy. Okay, um, and and the bottom line is, um, it's just holding the market up as other components are going down. And my thought is, like, you could probably buy Microsoft here. I think Microsoft is probably a buy. I mean, it may suffer another down leg, but Microsoft on a relative basis, again, I mean, I think that's a great trade. Nvidia, sell Nvidia and buy Microsoft. I know it doesn't feel good this minute today because it's not the trade that's working, but I believe, that trade will work. I mean, year to date, Nvidia is probably up or flat. Let's see.
Oh, so you're now going to participate in the buy this, sell that crowd. I thought you
Well,
hate that. I thought you
I never
say the
said I hate it. I don't understand it. But right now, Microsoft is
join the
down.
game. I understand. You have to join the game. You have to understand what's going on and kind of join that party a little bit.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I don't have to. I could do a lot of other things. I don't have to do that.
You make money.
I'm
You
looking at different pairs, seeing if something makes sense. I'm not doing it on a day to day, rotating in, rotating out. Like yesterday, as the Nasdaq's going lower, they can't buy enough Apple. Then Apple goes down and the Nasdaq goes up. I mean, this is like today, Nasdaq's green and Apple is down. Okay, so how does that make sense? Yesterday, Apple was up most of the day, faded into the close, and now is lower and day over day is unchanged. So again, I don't know who's doing this. To be honest, I don't know who's doing it. But you have, all of these stocks are in the trillions and trillions, and we'll see. But the one thing that I've come up with that I've seen like almost every night is the S&P futures are coming into the morning are up every day. I mean, literally, you don't agree? Every day you come in, the market is higher. Even on down days, the market opens higher. It's very weird, and it doesn't matter if the DAX is down, the DAX is up. None of it really matters. But I don't know. Today I don't know what to think. I think maybe if they don't hold this today, if they don't hold, I don't know if they're going to come in, but if they don't hold, maybe they turn them over a little. We've literally had Friday up, Monday up, yesterday, Tuesday up, Wednesday yesterday the S&P ended flat to the tick, um, but was up all day. So I don't know if you count that as an update, but really, it's almost been a full week without any type of down move. But we've seen this movie for months and months and months, months and months, maybe even years. Where the market freaks you out, you call me telling me I don't got them, and then the market goes right back to higher than where it is. I don't know why. That Friday trade, if we look back on it, is such a weird one. It was all Nvidia that saved the day. Nvidia was up $6 that day off of, you remember Amazon reported and the SPU went down like 80 and then we ended up 120. So, that's big move. But also you can look at the market, Eric, in a way where the market hasn't. made it all-time high. It's really been stuck for months and months and months, right? What is it? 4 months? We're in the same spot. 5 months, but we're not down. We're not down. So you know, and so let's look across the board.
You mentioned Amazon. It's interesting. We had Amazon earnings last week. We had Google earnings last week. Those two stocks aren't up, haven't recovered from their earnings, and Google looks pretty bad technically. Um, and it's as if the market just completely forgot about that on Friday, like forgot about those capex numbers and all that. I think the fact that those two haven't really recovered is telling and pretty interesting.
Yeah, but I look at it in a different way. The market is all the way up here and they haven't recovered. What's going to happen when they do recover? They're going to recover, okay, at some point, okay? What's going to happen when they recover? Are they going to sell out the stuff they're buying every single day? Or are they going to hold on to that too and take that too? So the question is the market, eventually, listen, Microsoft could go, the Microsoft could go down. Maybe the market goes down.
I'm sensing you're bullish.
I am not bullish. I'm not. I'm sitting on the sideline. I am not bullish. I'm not bullish, but the market doesn't go down. So I'm respecting that the market
So
doesn't go
you're
down.
so
I
you're price
I
action
am
guy.
I am setting up for it to go down, but
So
you know,
price is dictating these the stance, correct?
um, no, not at
Price.
all.
It's purely price. Yes.
Why is it purely price? It's not anything. There's a no trade. There,
Going up.
I mean, what's the price? Eric. There's
It
no
forces you to
listen.
be.
Listen up. There's no trade to be had. Okay, the S&P has been in a 10 handle range all night. So what does price have to do with it? I'm bearish, but the action is not there. It's not. It has nothing to do with the price.
Okay.
Dude, anyone that's trading out there that trades is not looking. The price on the S&P futures is 85. It doesn't matter if it's 85, 45 or 25 when we're trading today. We're trading we're trading where it is. Every day for me the price is marked to market. Every day it's marked to market. So it's not the price. Investors or retail traders, maybe it's different. Maybe it's different because they bought whatever at a higher price and now they're stuck. But no, for me, it's not the price. What is the price? It has to do with the action. I'm looking at the
What's
action
the price?
today, and there is none. Doesn't matter if this action happened if the SPOO is 1,000 points lower. Okay, it's
Right.
it's you know it's
It's the
the
price.
it's the
It's the price.
action.
You
Okay,
call it the action, but it's the price.
it is
So
not the
basically,
price. The price is irrelevant. Price is
that's
irrelevant.
what happens. Prices get jammed up, and like you always say,
Why do you no price is irrelevant? Price is irrelevant today. I have positions on for today. Okay. Has zero to do with the price. Yes, it has to do with the price because that's where the strikes are. Has nothing. It doesn't matter. I'd have positions on the exact same positions if we took the 6 in front of the SPOO and put a 5. Okay. So then rather than have the 580 put, the 5680 puts, I have the 6680 puts. It does the price is irrelevant. Its price is 100% irrelevant, okay? Unless you have a core position. But if you're trading today, listen, I have a price in Robinhood. I have a position in Robinhood, okay? Fairly large, okay? And it's at 78. My position is based on where the price is at 78. It doesn't, if the price was 68, I'd have a position around 68. You're not the same way? What do you mean? What is the price
well, it's just
dictating?
funny to me how you accuse a lot of traders of being just price action people, but at the end of the
No,
day,
I am that's a different thing. That is when they're buying, okay? They're not buying when we're going down. They're buying when we're going up. So, yes, those people are 100% price sensitive to what is going on. They can't buy. Dude, do you think they want Bitcoin at 67,000? Do you think they want it there? Oh, come on. They don't want it there. They're destroyed. They want it higher, but they have no power to buy it right now because they're underwater. Okay. They're underwater so much, Eric. They can't even take it. Okay. And that's why we consolidated at 100 with nothing. We consolidated at 80 with nothing. And now we're consolidating at 65. Wouldn't you agree? We're at 67, 68. We got down to 60. We've been in between 60 and 70 for basically a week, week and a half. Okay. This is the consolidation. Okay. But let me ask you a question. To me, what does price have to do with it if I'm going in today and buying Bitcoin at 68? I want to buy Bitcoin at 68 and sell it at 70. That's my trade. Okay. That's not a lot of other people's trades, but that's my trade. So
Well, speaking of price, straddles at 28, high or low.
I don't know. I think it's low. I think it's low, but it's low because of yesterday's action, of lack of action. So they think the same thing is going to happen again. We'll know that probably within an hour of trading. Um, those straddles are, in my mind, kind of low only because you have risk of news, you have risk of a lot of different things, but they're pricing in a very low straddle. We've seen it lower, but it's pretty low. um but I'm not touching that. Yesterday we made money again. I think we've made money on 9 straight trades in the opportunistic trader, LSP. Uh, we sold the call spread out of the money, just chipping and chipping and chipping. And, when you have 9 of those, it adds up to a decent amount of money. So we're doing well there. Um, I kind of like the call side on the short side today, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I think we're priced too low, um, on the straddle. But we'll see after the opening. If we get an extreme move up, then maybe I'll do it. Like yesterday, it was kind of easy, Eric. We were up like 35 handles into the opening, right? So I was selling another 40 up from there. So we needed to have like record all time high to get there. Um, you know, and you know, really looking across the board, you don't have a lot of action. You know where there's a lot of action? Guess where there's a lot of action on an equity market?
Where?
2 places. One place is in Asia called Japan, okay, exploding up. And the second place is the DAX. I'm sure you didn't peek at that this morning.
No, not
Up a
really.
up a smooth 300. Okay, DAX up 350 or 1.5%. Not huge because now the DAX is basically right off a record high. You know,
Do you trade? Do you trade the DAX and the Nikkei?
I have not traded it in a while. Did I trade it? Yeah, I traded it massive. That was a big part of my book when I had a hedge fund. I had a big Asia position, big Europe position. Now I stick mostly to the US. Also, when you're doing that stuff, you kind of get like you, where you're yawning on the air because you're exhausted because you stay up all night trading, which I don't suggest to anybody that's watching this podcast. I think it shortens your life. There's plenty of opportunity in the United States during the trading day to make. You don't have to like conquer the world. You could, make small money, um, and that's it.
Well, the big moves in metals, which I trade a lot, tends to happen at night. Asia's very involved in that trade, so that's where I've been saying it for a while. Like, there's stuff going on at night in the metals market. I think we all kind of see that at this point. So, you mentioned these foreign markets. Are you active in your forex product? Are you more active in your forex product?
My forex product is actually one of my better products. It's done really, really well. Um, I think we have one trade in a month. We used to have, multiple trades in a week when it's busy. It just doesn't move a lot. Um, so, you know,
28 straddle. Um, it's funny. We talk about the consolidation, but this consolidation has brought the market right up to like 7,000 for so long. Like it's tried to like hit that and break that and like, keep that for a while. And it fails every time. Today we have another, 28, 30 point straddle, which would, if that hits, we're above 7,000 basically. You think this is the day? Like,
no, I think tomorrow's probably the day. They'll have it on the weekend. They'll get to talk about it. Everything's amazing. It's funny to me. It's just funny to me. Let's talk about the jobs number. We know no one is even talking about it because they know it's not real. How could the White House come out and say that the jobs number is going to be weak? Two people, and then it beats by 100,000. Like how? What they just found 100,000 somewhere? I mean, or did Trump pencil a one in front of the 30?
it felt a little off for sure. Yeah, yesterday was, you mentioned like yesterday was a little easier. The market was already gapped up, had that big reaction. I love those trades on economic report days where you have like an overreaction. You just kind of you look for that retracement at some point, you get that trade
Well, you
on
know
a
what? It's easy to say overreaction after the fact. I mean, what if it went up another 100 handles? That it wouldn't be an overreaction, right? So, you know.
we had that trade yesterday. We had it. I was a little surprised that, once the move is taken out, usually there's follow through and the market just kind of came all the way right back. Yeah, interesting dynamics in the market. 28 straddle, 7,000 strike is only at $2 on the calls. And it's
Dude, that's a
interesting. Every day
time
has
out. What are
7,000
you looking
strike.
at? Time out. Time out. You're looking at futures options
No,
or are you
cash,
looking at SPX? What are you looking at?
cash SPX.
Yeah, but that puts the future at 20. If we get there, the future's at 70-20. Okay. So I don't know.
Okay.
That's another 30 handles from here. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very big outside up day. You know, I think those options are actually probably too high for today. Just my opinion. You know, I don't see it. I don't see any type of catalyst that's going to get us there. Okay.
Well, you mentioned you think it might get us there tomorrow. The catalyst would
Maybe.
be
I mean, listen, I don't this is
CPI report
the
tomorrow.
markets are contrived and rigged. So you got to always keep that in your mind that, you know, they have a insatiable appetite to take the market higher whenever they can. And then dude, let's just, I only have another 13 minutes cuz I have to stop at 9:15. So I have another 13 minutes, but let's discuss last week with volatility at almost 25 off of a 4% NASDAQ down from the all-time high and 2.5 or 2% in S&P. What does that mean when we actually have the 10% correction? What's going to happen in here? I mean, we're not going to go another year without a 10% correction. I mean, that would be 4 years. I think it would be like, I mean, I know we had the tariff thing, but it would be, the longest time that we've not had it. So I don't know, you know, and that recovered in a month, right?
It recovered in a month. I think what's happening is skews are so like tail end protection is getting more and more expensive, and so the skew has been rising.
But how can
Uh,
that be? How can that be if volatility is contracting all day and all the time?
well,
The
if you
the
look
outer
at the VIX,
rings are always expensive, but what it leads me to believe is, listen, on a 2 or 3, I know you were freaked out on Thursday on a 2 or 3% freak out. I wish I had that phone call, dude. It was like you cackling in we're there. I'm like, oh my God, dude, whatever. But I can't
well,
wait for
I
us
was
to
concerned.
actually go down.
You've been bearish for so long, and I felt like, okay, if we're gonna get that down move,
I
I
was
want to
actually, to be
or
completely honest, I was
okay.
actually long. I was long. I was long the broken stocks, which actually exploded up that day. So I got kind of lucky, but overall, I am definitely very cautious. Okay, but I'm putting positions on, pretty much every day. So, I'm in the market. I like the market better when it trades lower. I think actually you probably don't, but I like the market better when it trades lower. It brings more volatility. It brings more pricing. It brings your $25 straddle to 80, which we saw last week. We saw an $80 straddle, $70 straddle. That's a way better thing to trade than a $20 straddle. So yes, as a trader, I like trading in a little bit higher volatility for sure, and I like market uncertainty where people have to make moves. Okay. That's what I like. Okay. And that's what you should probably like. But, I think you like up prices, market large dislocations, which is fine. I mean, and that's a good way to trade also. You could trade and make money that way. I'm not saying you can't, but, you know, basically, let me ask you, like, let's just equate it to today. The S&P is up, whatever, 20 handles. Like, what are you going to do today? Like, what's the play? I know you probably won't answer. You don't answer any of my question, but what's the play? What's the play?
Why do you say that? I do answer your questions.
You don't
I
like
give
to.
very
You don't
specific.
like to.
Okay,
So what's the
okay.
play?
Well, what I'm looking for when vol is like this, you know this. I like to. I'm looking for in the money. Like I don't like doing out of the money on a day like this. I'm looking at the board, and it just doesn't seem like the premium is there. Like the SPX is going to open up somewhere around 89.60. So if you want 30 points, 35 points of out of the money protection, you're pricing you look at the board and let's say you do a 10-point spread. So that's a 69.90 by 7,000 call spread. You're only getting $2 for that and we're just at the open, right? So many things could happen after that 30 minutes that could change the direction of the day. You don't want to take that risk, but at the same time, it's only $2. If you wait too long, it'll be $1 and then it just doesn't make any sense to do it. So on days like this, where it just feels like there's not much going on, I'm looking for opportunities to go into um, in the money credit spreads that are trading almost at max loss, and where like a small 10-point move could pay me like $2-3 on premium. So that's the kind of option strategy I'm looking for today.
Man, you
Um, we'll see where it goes. Like if how the market
fucking
reacts at the open.
right. All right, so we'll see. Let's just quickly touch on some of the markets. I talked about Europe. It's funny, FTSE had a. Do you know what the FTSE growth number was today? GDP.
I do not.
You think we're at like 7% growth, right? Or 8 or 9 or 10? Like
U.S.
you think
GDP is in the mid fours.
exactly. Okay. Well, FTSE, the growth in Great Britain was 0.01. Okay. So I don't know. We're growing like 7%,
Well,
6%,
we're
whatever.
growing like that because of all the capex last year into the AI trade. So when you're seeing Google and Amazon dropping like that on big capex numbers, you got to be thinking maybe those capex numbers aren't really going to be there like they're projecting this year. And we're already at pretty high GDP levels. It's not going to take a lot for a couple of consecutive quarters of GDP, like you mentioned in the UK, where everybody on CNBC starts talking about a technical recession. It's all been held up by capex from AI last year. So
Yeah,
if these
maybe.
companies
I
don't
mean,
meet these capex numbers, we
there's
could.
a lot of, we're getting close to wrapping, but there's a lot of stuff. Like, so SoftBank, which is Masi-san, took a big position in OpenAI, 50 billion, 40 billion. Okay. He reported the stock higher. These guys get to mark their position. It's not a public company. They just mark the valuation, and he marked the valuation so much higher. And that to me is, there's so many scary things out there. The thing hasn't done anything yet, and they're just raising valuations and all of this stuff. So that's scary. There's a lot of stuff out there that's certainly interesting and certainly scary. So, we're going to, you know, keep our guard up as the market continues to move or roll higher. Markets, starting the day up well. Bonds are back down to 417. This has been such a no trade for a while. Oil backed off a little. I guess maybe they're not worried that much about the strike like they were the day before. And gold can't go down. So I guess gold is what? It's flat. Gold is flat. Silver is kind of down a little. Nothing going on there. It's just funny to me, literally, where is the volume? What happened? Like, what happened? How did something that was running 20% a day go down to zero volatility in 1 week? I mean, it's pretty amazing. So that's what I see. You like the in the money call spread. Um, for me, I would sell
I
upside
don't. I
calls.
don't. I don't like. I like an in the money credit spread. I don't know what direction I'm going to choose yet. I don't know. Not
What are you
yet.
talking about? In the money to buy it? You're going to buy a $7 or $8 spread? What are you saying? I don't know what you mean.
Sell in the money credit spreads will be
Right.
my.
That's what I just said.
I don't know if they're going to be puts or calls yet.
Oh.
Probably calls.
Oh my God, dude. Dude, you have only 20 minutes to come up with a thought process. We've been up for like 3 hours, dude. When you come up with it, dude, let me know. All right. I'm gonna wrap because I got to get out of here and take care of something before I get out of here. And I wish everyone good luck trading today. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit of vol. Enjoy. Peace.